Hi everyone, it's Becky here. Welcome to another new video on my YouTube channel. Today I want to share with you my most recent traveling and sketching experience around downtown Vancouver. It's early autumn now in Vancouver. It's actually the second last day of September. Here I am enjoying the view outside the SkyTrain window, the changing colors of the foliage, of the cityscapes of Vancouver. Here I am in downtown. Here I am. I need to transfer to the Canada line to get to Yaletown, outside Yaletown SkyTrain station now. Now I'm gonna find a new cafe around here, and it's called Analog Coffee.
Becky?
Okay. So this is my quick breakfast. I did a very quick 5-minute drawing of the latte and almond croissant, and then a quick 5 to 7 minute painting. After that, I have to move inside because it's so chilly out here now. So I first captured a lady in ponytail and a really nice long robe, and then the front of the counter in front of her, adding these lovely brick patterns of vertical rectangles. And then I drew the barista and I added a little boy waiting for his mom. And this also adding a really nice backdrop for the cup of coffee and croissant. Now I'm adding some more interior details like this wooden column behind the coffee dispensers. The column is in the shape of a long rectangular prism and more beams around the seating area. Clusters of plants hanging down from the beam over here. Just using very quick and squiggly lines, being really playful to get those plant leaves done. Here's my finished line work. And it's as busy as usual. Adding the very first layer of watercolors. This is a super diluted mix of yellow ochre and a little bit of lemon yellow to give the warm luminosity of the cafe interior. Now I'm adding some mix of yellow ochre and a little bit of brown or burnt sienna for the wooden beams. And I mix my own terracotta color with red and burnt sienna for these brick tiles for the front of the counter. I really love the pattern. It just makes me really happy to look at it. Okay, so now shadows and shaded areas for the interior is always very important, more than just painting the yellowish luminosities on the walls. So this is a mix of cobalt blue and a little bit of royal purple. Yeah, so these shaded areas are so important to add contrast and a sense of drama to our sketches, whether if we're painting interiors or exteriors. I love painting shadows and shaded areas. Here is the finished sketch and a very quick summary of how I do a cafe sketch. So after lunch at the nearby little restaurant, I moved on to David Lam Park to enjoy the sunshine, sitting on the lawn at the park and looking at the shimmering water in front of me of the Falls Creek. Now I'm ready to do a quick sketch. So I captured a man laying down on the grass, bathing in the warm sunshine, but he actually walked away. Perhaps he was kind of self-conscious of me filming and taking photos. Oh, that's okay. But another girl and her super adorable dog came by, sitting down for quite a while for me to capture them. So I started drawing her hat and the brim of her hat, and then her short hair under the hat, the hood of her jacket. It's getting really chilly these days now in Vancouver, and people are starting to put on their winter jackets now. Her upper arm, her elbow, and the strap of her purse. And the bottom edge of her jacket curving, following the cylindrical shape of the human body. And yeah, she's still there. So she and her dog are perfect models for my sketch, the foreground elements. Okay, so now I just drew the tip of her paper bowl with her salad in it, and then drawing the sole of one of her shoes, Yeah, it could be a little tricky drawing people sitting down because the legs could be extremely foreshortened. Yeah, so I can only see one shoe like that. Her other elbow, mostly obstructed by her body. Now I am seeing this is playing at real-time speed. I didn't bring my tripod with me that day, so I had to film by holding my camera with my hand. So now I'm drawing the head of the dog. The dog is really active, always walking around, wagging his or her tail, capturing her big nose, her chin, the fluffy ears. And the dog just moved, so I had to wait for her to come back to the same position to keep drawing. Now I am drawing the calf of the girl and the sole of her other shoe over here. Yeah, that's a really cool sitting posture here. Now just drawing the collar of the dog, the eyes. Oh, that's a little windy now. Okay, now drawing the vest area of the harness for the dog, and adding a bit of fluffy texture for her ears. Okay, so that makes her ears look more furry. And now I just drew this slanting line of the bank, and then this seawall structure, which is very common here in Vancouver along Falls Creek. It's a walkway for people to walk along the river. All right, so now I'm ready to plant these trees along the seawall. Just starting to draw the shape of the canopy. So most of these trees are having the shape of the canopy and in between the shape of a sphere and the cone. Now finishing the legs of this super adorable dog, and that's it for the dog. Now coming back to the foliage again to trace out the outlines of these trees overlapping each other as best as I can, and yeah, I'm trying to focus on their contour outlines. For the inner details, I'm gonna leave it for the paint brush marks, the bottom and the trunk. And that's it for the row of foliage along the seawall. Now let's have a look at the scenery. The girl and her dog is still here. She's still enjoying her lunch. Now I'm going to trace out the contour outlines of these two apartment buildings in the middle ground. So the one on the left is a modern style building. The shape is quite distorted, so just really have fun. There's no right or wrong drawing this building. Yeah, the left side is curving that way. So that's the general outline of that apartment building. This one I can see is three-dimensionality of the two sides of a rectangular prism shape. Okay, so that's the bare bone outline of these two buildings. Now I'm adding these cute little tips of the bottoms of the balconies on the left side, and then the rooftop area, this stripe over here containing a row of these airplane or submarine style windows, and then aligning horizontally with the balconies, and these circle windows are the units of this apartment building. Yeah, just a bunch of loose segments of horizontal lines. So for modern skyscrapers or apartment buildings like this, is very much a simple pattern of horizontal rows with a bunch of repeating lines vertically, dividing them into window panels and units. Now I'm starting to draw these organic shapes of fallen leaves from the nearby trees. Depending on the location and the species of the trees, they shed their leaves at different times of the season. So now I'm drawing this nice little blanket under the girl and her dog, which further gives a more three-dimensionality to the lawn area. And some more leaves. There we are. Now the girl, she's laying down now. She's spending quite a long time here in front of me, being a really good model. And now I am painting watercolors now. As always, for landscapes, I begin with the sky area. So I'm blending a very loose wash of cerulean blue diluted and mixing lime green into cerulean blue for the bottom of the sky, which is the green turquoise color. It's later in the day now, so the bottom of the sky ascends a really nice, beautiful turquoise. And using the same color for the first layer of the water, using thin brush strokes a little bit on the left side, skipping around for white spots of the shimmering water, and spread this wash very thinly. This is just the first layer of the water area. Okay, now I'm ready to be really playful with the colors and values of yellow greens, yellows, oranges, and darker greens for the foliage, beginning with the lightest tone or value. So this is a mix of lemon yellow, yellow ochre, and lime green. Every single brush mark is of a different kind of yellow, yellow-green, playing with the ratio of ochre, lemon yellow, and a little bit of lime green. Okay, and just to make these foliage look a bit more interesting with a bit more contrast, I'm punching on these tiny little brush strokes of lime green here and there, following my observation. This is the color scheme of trees in early autumn. As I mentioned before, this is the second last day of September 2023. And this day is never gonna come back again. So I'm trying to really seize the day by sketching as much as I can when I get the time. And yeah, some more lime green, a little leftover hooker's green, diluted as well. Just keeping this first layer of warm yellow greens only. No contrast, no sharp contrast yet. And now I'm painting the first layer of the lawn area. Again, the edge of the lawn is facing the sun on the left, and it's being illuminated almost into a neon yellow-green, containing a very high ratio of yellow ochre and lemon yellow, just a little bit of lime green. And grabbing some more lime green to paint the back half of the lawn area. Okay, a bit in the shadows of the trees outside the picture. Yeah, just spread it very loosely, following the direction of this little slope. And now, being even more impressionistic, I am punching on these tiny little brush strokes of golden green, which is a mix of orange, orange, and a tiny bit of lime green. Using my medium tip water brush right now. Now punching on some mid-tones of green, which is hooker's green, with a little bit of yellow ochre. And it's okay to have marks of brush strokes because it really helps to show the texture of foliage. And some more over here, merging many of these little choppy brush strokes together so the brush strokes, they don't look too harsh. I'm also adding these brush strokes right now before the previous layer is completely dried. Otherwise, I might end up with super solid brush marks, which is not really nice looking. And now, moving on to the second layer of the water surface, wet on dry. As you can see, I have these very sharp and crisp brush marks using just a few hair on my large tip water brush, skipping some areas unpainted and using even fine liner brush strokes for the middle and foreground area for the details of lapping water. So these brush marks on the lower half of the water body is a slightly diluted version of turquoise compared to the top 2 or 3 brush strokes. According to my observation, it's not the same value of turquoise. Okay, and now I am mixing a little bit green into the turquoise for the reflection area. So these are the reflections of the trees above the seawall, and my brush mark is even thinner, using very gentle hand pressure and just a few hair on the little brush tip. So basically, I am painting 3 layers for this little body of water, okay, for a good amount of contrast and a bit of realism, showing that is a body of water moving. Okay, a little bit refinement around the edge, and that's it for the water. I don't want to overwork on it. So now using the leftover colors of turquoise from painting the water, I am punching on these little dots for the window panels of this apartment building. Yeah, some are of a more diluted version, just using the residue and the water coming down from the brush handle to keep painting on. Yeah, again, these turquoise of the window panels are of different values of turquoise. And then coming back to my palette to mix some more turquoise containing less water for a little bit of weight for some of these window panels here and there. So glass is always reflective. So the turquoise tone of these windows are coming from the reflections of the sky, the water below, and the foliage around. And now it's time to shade the foliage even further with a dark shade color of green. So I just mixed hooker's green with a little bit of burnt sienna. As I mentioned before, the sun is on the left. So the right side of these trees are heavily shaded with cast shadows from the tree in front of it. Yeah, just very boldly adding this dark value of green on the right side of these trees using chunky dots of brush marks. Yeah, same for this one. Merging many of these brush marks together. Yeah, so I need to reload my brush after every few brush marks. So I'm always punching on very juicy and saturated colors. So I'm not diluting this shade color further on as I drag the pen on more areas of the trees. And I need to reload the brush with juicy and strong paint pigment after maybe 4 or 5 brush marks. Okay, and some more. And a few more on the bottom of some of these trees. So you have to keep pushing yourself to add the second and third layer after painting the local color of your things. So here's the look of my finished sketch. Alright, so it's such a beautiful day that I just don't want to go home yet. Thank you for watching this video, everyone. So I used to work at this preschool center before the pandemic for about 4 years. This is just one of the centers that I worked at. And looking at the kids, it really brings me back memories of my life as a casual or substitute preschool teacher. This community is very nice. It's the Yaletown Roundhouse area. So thank you so much for watching this video, everyone. If you like it, please click like and leave me a comment below. Subscribe to my channel for weekly updates. So I try to update my channel with 2 to 3 new videos every week. And enjoying the foliage outside the SkyTrain window on the way home. I will see you again very soon next time. Have a great day. Bye!